Good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, the 25th of April in 2024, and today we're going to talk about the Draw Curve tool, and I'm going to show you how to really just get around it. Okay, Aspire 12 has been phenomenal, but the one tool that everybody's been talking about is Draw Curve is gone, and it is. This is true. Not much we can do about it at the moment other than just say, hey, we really like this tool. Could you bring it back? And we'll see what they do. But in the meantime, let me show you how to fix that and at least keep drawing with not a very big extra step there. And something that honestly, I think does do a little bit better job anyway. But let's go in and let's take a look at something that is kind of a classical wood turning piece, the Queen Anne leg. All right, let's go grab the image. It's called step 1. So we're gonna go in here. I'm gonna go find our JPEG. All right, we wanna make sure we're doing this one here. There we go, step 1. Okay, here's our image. Let's go ahead and just work on it for a minute. And we'll decide what we like, what we don't like, and play a little bit. So, the tool we're gonna use today is we're just gonna use the Draw Polyline tool. And the way we're gonna use it is we're just going to come around and trace our tool. Now we have a nice curve here. There's curves everywhere, so how do we do it right? Great question. First thing we're going to do, of course, is we're going to click on our image, right click on it, and we're going to go down and go to our appearance, and we just want it to not fade. So I want to keep it nice and about 4%, between 2 and 5%, and that way when I click on it, click off of it, I still get that nice dark line I'm looking for. Okay, Draw Polyline. We're just going to start over here. We're going to go over to here. And we're just clicking our points. Now, when we get to curves like this, what we're looking for, and if you stop and click right here, you see how we have just a nice curve there. It looks about like an arc, so not a Bezier. If we were to bring it down to here, it would definitely be a Bezier. So what we're looking for is arcs. So I'm just going to click right there. So it's a nice one arced movement to right there. And I come down, and I'm going to click again, about right there. Okay. We're just going to keep going down the road. Now this one goes from convex to concave, and that's okay. Bring it about right there. And the same thing here, concave again. Again, we're looking for a curve. Now if we can't find one, like on this one, there's just too much. So we're going to try to break this one to where the next section is going to be a curve. Right there. And then this one to here, up to there, come across. Back up, come back over. We're going to figure it's going to be somewhere around there, kind of it's blurry. And they have this kind of a straight line. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm probably going to change that myself. Right, we're going to look at this one. It's about there. We come in about there. And again, all we're doing is we're just looking for good curve. Look for where the next curve starts. So it's going to be about right there. Okay, and then this piece we're actually going to get rid of, and we're going to just come straight up off of that. And we're going to go in at a 90, regardless of what and where that other point is. So see how up here on this point we're actually overlapping. That's okay. We're going to grab our scissors tool and trim them, because we do want those at a 90. Ooh, when it does that, make sure you trim the other one first. There we go. Okay, so here it is. Now, nice new feature. Click on this. Let's make that disappear for a moment. Select this guy. Go to our node mode. And I'm going to take all of these. Okay, and I'm going to grab these ones. And I'm going to grab these ones. And I'm going to just hit S to smooth. Okay, smooth my point. And I come back here, turn it back on, and I'm just going to kind of fix a little things, because this one comes to a sharp point here. So on this particular one, I am going to hit S again, unsmooth that point. And I'm going to pull this one in tight. Okay, that's going to clean that one up. And this one here, I'm going to pull that one out. Okay, so what we're looking at here is there are ways around not having that tool. I do get it, and I am 100% with everybody who's been saying, gosh, we really need that tool, because I believe we do too. It's a great tool. However, we can complain about not having a problem or not having a tool, or we can say, hey, Let me voice my opinion. I want that tool, but I can still go to work. Well, instead of being problem finders, what we want to be are problem solvers. So let's solve this problem here by just going to another tool. So we're just going to come up here and just all we're doing is we're just kind of fixing, tweaking. Might come down and say that one needs to come a little lower. Just that looks a lot better there. And this one here, I want it to be a little bit more flat, more straight up, so it curves beautifully. All right, so there's our part. Really not that much more difficult than what we were doing before, and that is the outline for our queen hand leg. Now from here, the question is, how do we model it? How do we make it work? And just, can we make a queen hand leg in the rotary axis? And the short answer is, you betcha we can. And in next week's video, we're going to take this exact drawing and we're going to go ahead and model it and get ready to go with this leg in mind. And what we're trying to do is make it the most beautiful queen hand leg that we can. And there's a part down here I don't like at all. So we are going to tweak it. And that's going to be your artist preference, right? Now, if you're old enough to remember, and I think a lot of us are, remember a very cool artist who had a big fro, and his name was Bob Ross. And Bob Ross is a guy who I just think was phenomenal. And he always talked about, you never really make any mistakes, you just make happy little trees. So you can always hide a mistake with a tree when he was painting. And this is your queen hand leg. If you like it the way it is, you leave it the way it is. I'm going to insert another point here, however, because I do want mine to have a little bit of a curve on that back end right there. I'm not sure if I like the bottom little step yet, but for now I'm going to keep it. I'm going to take all of these and I'm just going to pull them over. And I'm going to take this point, re-smooth it. Okay, so I have just a little bit more of a curve right here. Why? Because I want it. Does it make any big difference to the leg? No, it just changes the design just a little bit. They trim up that so I don't have a straight bottom, because I like it that way. Again, does it matter? No. This is my happy little queen hand leg, so I'm going to build it the way that I want to. The way that you want to is totally up to you. When we start breaking out our cross sections and everything else, then we can start really having some fun. Now, when we're done with this, we're also going to put right on the knee, we're going to throw a model on there. We're going to throw the model on there because I think it'll look really cool. So while we're here, let's scale this up to about the size I want. So I'm going to rotate this one with the 9, so it's horizontal. This is going to work with my rotary axis. Okay, now that it's rotated, we're going to go ahead and just scale this up. So let's get an idea of how big it is. So we're going to start by measuring between 2 points. If you go right there, it's 0.349. So we're going to call it 0.35, right? Okay, so I'll take out our calculator, 0.35, and that's going to be how big it is. Now, if we want to get an idea of what we want to do, we go 1.875 divided by 0.35. That's going to be 535. Okay, so that means it's that much bigger. So it's 5.35 times bigger than this one. So we take this one, we're going to scale it up. Okay, and we're going to just make this whole thing in the Y. Let's go here. We're going to go to percentage. We're going to go to 535%. And that would be how big it is to be the exact size of this leg. Okay, and this should make this 1 7/8. That's going to make that a 17 15/16 leg, or about an 18-inch leg. So we can come over here and say, what are we at? We're going to make this 18. And there is our leg. So that's as big as we're going to build this guy. So next step, of course, just resize this thing. So we're going to make this 18. Okay, here we are. Center it. And this is where we're going to stop today. We're going to go from this point here. We're going to build our cross sections, and we're going to start working on making this queen hand leg look like a queen hand leg. So we're going to start working on our 2 rail sweeps to build both our square cross section and our curved cross sections here. All right. Hopefully you guys found that this is a good substitute, at least for now, because there is a lot of feedback saying, hey, we really want that tool back. But in the meantime, use your polyline tool. Let's be problem solvers. Let's take this thing and say, hey, we got this thing. We're going to use it. We're going to use our node mode and our ability and aspire to really look, watch, and see how those curves react so that we can build ourselves those beautiful curves that we all have used for so many years. Don't forget to smile today, guys. Be kind to each other. We will see you guys in the next one. Take care.